right, this breaking news. Sources tell CNN that Deputy FBI Director Dan Bongino has told people that he's considering resigning amid a major clash between the FBI and DOJ over the continued fallout from the release or lack thereof of the Jeffrey memo. Joining us right now on the phone is CNN anchor and chief White House correspondent Caitlin Collins. Caitlin, what more are you learning?
Yeah, Fred, it remains to be seen if he actually follows through with what he has told colleagues. But what we do know is that Dan Bongino has told people he is considering.
Yes, to understand exactly what is going on before we go into the full analysis, first take a look at this clip from Meghan Kelly talking about Pam Bondi.
I think she was thirsty for attention. I think she was enjoying the hits on Fox, on Hannity, on Waters, in the middle of the day with John Roberts and saying, like, I've got all the answers on Epstein. I've got all the juicy dish and I'll be the one to give it to you, until she either found out that wasn't true and realized this is why attorneys general don't talk like this ever about their ongoing investigations ever. You almost never hear from attorney general. It's the one person in any administration, Republican or Democrat, who you really can't get. There's only so much transparency you're supposed to get from an attorney general, given the way criminal investigations work, and then realize like she had an oh shit moment of she's humiliated herself and the administration, or again, I don't know, something else, or it was real in the first place and now she's doing the lying. This, I don't know the truth.
Yes, this is blowing up on social media like never before. I don't know if you've seen this. Laura Ruma posted this. CNN Kathleen Collins is now confirming my exclusive report about how Bongino is considering resigning from the FBI over his clash with Pam Bondi and the DOJ for her mishandling of the Epstein files and lack of transparency at the DOJ. Notice how they don't even cite my reporting, even though I was first to break the news about him taking the day off today and completing resigning. Extremely concerning. When you take a look at the whole situation, I've been talking about this topic. It is escalated to a level never seen before. I have a couple of clips. I'm going to show you what exactly is going on. If you have not subscribed to this channel, please endeavor to do that. It will do you no harm if you share the video.
All right, this breaking news. Sources tell CNN that Deputy FBI Director Dan Bongino has told people that he's considering resigning amid a major clash between the FBI and DOJ over the continued fallout from the release or lack thereof of the Jeffrey Epstein memo. Joining us right now on the phone is CNN anchor and chief White House correspondent Caitlin Collins. Caitlin, what more are you learning?
Yeah, Fred, it remains to be seen if he actually follows through with what he has told colleagues. But what we do know is that Dan Bongino has told people he is considering resigning as the deputy director of the FBI over the fallout that has continued ever since this memo was released last Sunday. The anger inside the MAGA base has only continued to grow instead of going away, as some officials inside hoped it would. And now our colleagues, along with Christian Holmes, Hannah Rabinowitz, and Evan Perez, we're hearing that he's considering resigning after they had this heated confrontation with the Attorney General Pam Bondi over the handling of this earlier this week. And basically there was a meeting at the White House where the FBI Director, Kash Patel, was there, the White House Chief of Staff, Susie Wiles. They were questioned about whether they were part of a story, that there was basically some infighting over how this came out, and this memo that said we're not going to be releasing any more information related to Jeffrey. And I should note that we are told Bongino denied leaking any story to this outlet that it was reported on. But there has been a lot of fighting between Attorney General Pam Bondi specifically and the leadership over at the FBI over who's to blame in this situation. I think the context here is obviously Dan Bongino, Kash Patel. They came from this MAGA world where they themselves had pushed a lot of questions about the so-called client list that beforehand, and now the MAGA base is just not pleased or satisfied with what they've said in this memo that came out unsigned from the Justice Department and the FBI on Sunday night. So what we are told is Dan Bongino did not show up to work today, that he is essentially not there out of protest. But whether or not he actually follows through on this still remains to be seen. We're still reporting that out. But it just speaks to the backlash that the White House is very much feeling and understanding after this memo came out, despite President Trump the other day in the cabinet room asking, who still cares about this? One thing we know is the MAGA base certainly does.
All right, Caitlin Collins, thanks so much for that. We'll check back with you as you learn more. CNN Senior Justice.
What a massive unforced error by the Trump administration. Donald Trump would love this story to go away, but in fact, interest is climbing higher and higher, to quote Jackie Wilson. Look at this. Google searches for up 1,200% this week versus last. And get this, it is currently the top topic search with Trump on Google alongside his presidency. So Donald Trump normally, leans in stories in which there's controversy, like tariffs, for example. This is a story in which he's trying to get away from basically saying, why is anyone still interested in this story? But the bottom line is people are very interested in this story to historic degrees, at least this week.
Yes, it is obvious that a lot of people will be searching for this. For years, a lot of people hope that Trump will be the only solution to this, to end this story. Trump came out the other day, talked about it. Look at the Google search. Now there is a clash. I see a lot of people being divided on this case. Someone said something that drew my attention on edge. They still don't believe, like, if one person is getting fired, or like one guy tweeted this, if Dan resign, I still don't trust a guy telling me I can take away his life. If he comes out and blows the whistle, that's a different story. These people know their careers are over because of this obvious cover up. So I don't know. Will people mindset change if this guy resigns?
So word on the curb and hot off the stoop is MAGA's feeling duped. They're feeling a sense of betrayal since they were promised on the campaign trail that Trump would release this quote-unquote list. But according to his Department of Justice, it doesn't exist. But hey, MAGA, good news. I got another scoop for you, and I'm willing to spill the tea since you're so thirsty. There's another list.
As someone who voted for the president, campaigned for the president a lot, I'm not attacking the president, but I think even people who are fully on board with, the bulk of the MAGA agenda are like, this is too much, actually.
Yes.
I'm saying that with love, and I hope that they're listening, because I think this threatens to blow up the whole thing. By the way, when Pam Bondi went on television and said, I have a videotape of kids getting abused, I followed this case closely, and I know a lot of the people involved, as I've told you.
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea. I didn't know that. Really? Thousands of children got in jail. What? This is the Department of Justice.
Yes.
That is so crazy. This is honestly one of the craziest things I've ever seen in my entire life. And I just think it's very dangerous to play around.
As you and I have talked about, Charlie and Tucker are extremely influential with the administration. And
yes, breaking: Dan Bongino will not stay at FBI if Pam Bondi is not removed. Source close to the deputy director tell DailyWire. The next step is obvious: fire Pam Bondi. This is not negotiable. At this point, this came out like just 3 minutes ago. I was about to end this video before I saw this. Just reporting the news. I don't want to talk much and not making the videos long. I want to appreciate people supporting me, sharing out the videos. God bless you abundantly. If you notice, on all my videos, I usually put short clips. That is for the YouTube algorithm. They hardly recommend videos on this channel.
Who serves on the oversight?
Women, we have so many.
With you.
People line up for my advice, and you're walking away like I'm stupid. It's like,
Why don't we choose more carefully who we're going to lionize?
why marriage, infertility, trying to have kids makes things difficult. It's like,
She's seriously depressed. about how hard it is to live in the White House.
Post this morning alleging that since I said I will prevail.
It also shouldn't be racial.
Require Carmelo to run. He had
100.
Has been overwhelming. The lies in their amplification.
This is not going to end. Right is right and wrong is wrong. All good.
If you see any clips after this, that is just for the YouTube algorithm.
What if he says self-defense?
There's no self-defense because kids in here and resolve this issue is called conflict resolution.
Again, the evidence is still coming in.
This is definitely a self-defense case because it always is one until you...
Because she's fearful of what might happen to her.
Followers for anything. And then the
Registration Act is
talking about
Term, and you will be very...
Once again, the field was littered with Wintour does.
And black people don't want to live around ratchet black.
how bad is his reputation going to be?
But it did cause me some issues for sure.